Ever feel like you're just drowning in a sea of to-do lists, emails, and little reminders all buzzing around inside your head? Well, you're not alone. Today, we're going to decode David Allen's world-renowned methodology, Getting Things Done, or GTD. It's a system designed not just to make you more productive, but to actually free up your mind so it can do what it does best, having amazing ideas. So, here's the plan. First, we'll talk about why we're all so overwhelmed in the first place. Then, we'll look at the goal, a state of being that David Allen calls mind like water. After that, we'll break down the 5 core steps to get control of your workflow. We'll zoom in on the single most powerful habit for crushing procrastination. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to create a life of, you guessed it, stress-free productivity. You know, you can't really solve a problem until you understand it. So before we jump into the solutions, we have to get real about our modern work life. Why does it constantly feel like we're playing catch-up? This quote it nails the feeling, doesn't it? It feels like everything is happening at once, because in a way it is. We have this infinite stream of information and emails and notifications all coming at us, and all of it could make our work better, which creates this enormous pressure. The thing is, the very nature of work has changed. I mean, we've gone from tasks like build this chair with a clear beginning and end to what Allen calls edgeless projects. Think about it. When is a marketing campaign really finished? How good could that report possibly be? There's no clear finish line anymore. And that ambiguity, well, that's a recipe for stress. All of this unfinished, undefined stuff creates what GTD calls open loops. Just think of them as every single incomplete promise you've made to yourself. Things like, I should really fix that leaky faucet. Gotta plan that vacation. Need to email Susan back. Oh, and we need milk. Big or small, they're all in there, constantly pulling at your attention. And here's why those open loops are so incredibly draining. Your brain's short-term memory, it's a lot like a computer's RAM. It's designed for active processing, for doing things, not for just storing a bunch of stuff. So when you try to hold every single reminder in your head, you're clogging up that mental RAM, leaving no space for focus, for creativity, or, just for being present. Okay, so that's the problem. A big one. So what's the solution? The goal isn't to become some kind of productivity machine. It's to reach a state of calm, focused readiness. David Allen uses this amazing metaphor from karate. Imagine throwing a pebble into a still pond. The water ripples, right? It responds perfectly to the size and the force of that pebble, and then it returns to being completely calm. That's mind like water. It's about engaging with your world with total focus, responding appropriately, and not carrying around all the stress of overreacting or the anxiety of underreacting. So, how do we get to that state? It really requires a huge shift in how we use our minds. And it all starts with this one simple but really profound idea about what your brain is actually for. Your mind is for having ideas, not for holding them. It's a brilliant idea generator, but it's a terrible office. Seriously, using your brain as a storage locker for all those open loops is the #1 cause of stress. The solution, get everything out of your head and into an external system that you can 100% trust. So how do you actually build that trusted system? Well, GTD gives us a super practical 5-step method for taking all that chaotic stuff in your life and turning it into an organized, actionable system. This is basically the engine of the whole thing. It all starts with collect. Get everything out of your head and into an inbox. Then you process every single item one by one, deciding what it is. Next, you organize it, putting it where it belongs. You keep the system alive with a regular review. And finally, you do, where you can actually trust that you're making the best choice about what to work on at any given moment. Now, that process step is absolutely critical, and it all comes down to one simple question you ask for every single thing you've collected. Is it actionable? Your answer immediately tells you what to do with it, whether it's a task for you to do, or maybe just something to file away, trash, or maybe think about later. And this brings us to what is, I think, the single most powerful habit in the entire GTD system. Seriously, if you only take one thing away from this whole explainer, make it this. This is the secret to breaking through that feeling of overwhelm and finally getting started on those big, scary projects. It all starts with this number, the number 2. Kind of random, right? Well, it's the key to a technique that can clear dozens of tiny tasks off your plate and build some serious momentum every single day. It's the 2-minute rule. It's so simple. As you're processing all your stuff, If you come across something that would take less than 2 minutes to just get done, like firing off a quick email or making a fast phone call, do it right then and there. It's almost always faster to just do it than it is to organize it and track it for later. Now, for anything that takes longer than 2 minutes, the key is to define the very next physical action. And this just shows the difference perfectly. We don't do projects, we do actions. Do my taxes is this huge, vague thing that just makes you want to procrastinate. But call Fred for his accountant's number, that's a clear, physical, visible action you can do right now. You're making the first step so small and obvious, it's almost impossible not to do it. You know, Mark Twain totally got the psychology behind this. Our brains hate ambiguity. They shut down. But by defining that one tiny, manageable first task, you're giving your brain crystal clear instructions, and that just melts away the resistance and makes it easy to get going.
So, we've covered the problem, the goal, and the method. But let's zoom out and look at the ultimate payoff. Because this isn't just about checklists and being efficient, it's about fundamentally changing your relationship with all your commitments.
David Allen says that stress doesn't come from having too much to do. It comes from breaking agreements we've made with ourselves. A trusted GTD system lets you manage these agreements with your eyes wide open. You've got 3 healthy choices. You can decide not to make the agreement in the first place. You can complete it, or, and this is so important, you can renegotiate it. A renegotiated agreement isn't a broken one. It's just an updated one. And this really brings us to the ultimate point of all this. The goal is not to get everything done. That's impossible. The goal is to get all that stuff out of your head so you can be totally clear about what you're doing and just as clear about what you're not doing. It's about being fully present and engaged with this amazing sense of relaxed control. So to wrap this up, I want to leave you with a challenge, a direct call to action. Right now, what is one nagging open loop bouncing around in your mind that you could resolve in the next 2 minutes? A quick text, a simple email, a fast decision. Don't just listen to this, do it. Go close that loop and get your first little taste of what stress-free productivity feels like.